Download this code from codegive.com, link in the description below. Certainly. Jupyter notebooks come with a variety of magic commands that enhance your productivity when working with code. These magic commands are prefixed with 1 or 2% signs, % or %%. The single % sign indicates line magics, affecting a single line of code, while the double % sign indicates cell magics, affecting the entire cell. Here's a tutorial on some commonly used Jupyter Notebook magic commands, along with code examples. 1% matplotlib inline. This command is used to display matplotlib plots inline within the notebook, making it easier to visualize data. Python. Example of using %matplotlib inline. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Import numpy as np. %matplotlib inline. Create some data. X equals np.linspace, 0, 10, 100. Y equals np.sin, x. Plot the data. plt.plot, x, y. plt.title, sine wave. plt.label, x-axis. plt.elabel, y-axis. plt.grid. plt.show. 2% time and %timeit. %time measures the execution time of a single statement. %timeit runs the statement multiple times to give a more accurate measurement. Python. Example of using %time and %timeit. Import numpy as np. Using %time. Result equals %time np.sum, np.random.rand, 1,000,000. Using %timeit. %timeit np.sum, np.random.rand, 1,000,000. 3% load. This command loads code from a Python script or a URL into the current cell. Python. Example of using %load. Create a Python script named example.py containing some simple code. %load example.py. Print, hello from the loaded script. 4% ls. This command lists files and directories in the current directory. Python. Example of using %ls. %ls. 5% write file. This command writes the contents of the cell to a file. Python. Example of using %% write file. %% write file hello.py. Print, hello, world. 6% time. This command measures the execution time of the entire cell. Python. Example of using %% time. %% time. Import time. Simulate a long computation. Time.sleep, 2. Print, this cell took 2 seconds to run. 7% who and %whos. %who lists all variables in the current namespace. %whos provides a more detailed view, including variable types and information. Python. Example of using %who and %whos. A equals 10. B equals 1, 2, 3. C equals hello. %who. %whos. 8% reset. This command resets the namespace, removing all variables. Python. Example of using %reset. To confirm, %reset f, to force without confirmation. %reset. 9% debug. After an exception occurs, running %debug will open an interactive debugger to inspect the stack trace. Python. Example of using %debug. Def buggy _ function. Return 1/0. This will raise a zero division error. Try. buggy underscore function. Except 0 division error. Print, caught an exception. Now run %debug to inspect. %debug. Conclusion. Magic commands in Jupyter notebooks can significantly enhance your workflow by allowing you to perform various tasks efficiently. This tutorial covered some of the most useful magic commands, but there are many more available. You can find a complete list of magic commands by running the %ls magic command in a Jupyter notebook cell. Feel free to experiment with these commands to see how they can improve your coding experience. Certainly. Jupyter Notebook magic commands are special commands that make it easier to work within Jupyter. They are prefixed by %for line magics, which operate on a single line, and %for cell magics, which operate on multiple lines. These commands can help with tasks like timing code execution, debugging, running shell commands, and more. Here's an informative tutorial covering some useful Jupyter Notebook magic commands, along with code examples. One-line magics. 1.1% time. This command is used to time the execution of a single statement. Python. Example of %time. %time sum, range, 10.6. 1.2% timeite. This command provides a more accurate measurement by running the statement multiple times. Python. Example of %timeite. %timeite sum, range, 10.6. 1.3% who. This command lists all variables in the current namespace. Python. Example of %who. A equals 10. B equals 20. C equals hello. %who. 1.4% matplotlib inline. This command allows you to display matplotlib plots inline, directly in the notebook. Python. Example of %matplotlib inline. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. %matplotlib inline. plt.plot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. plt.title, inline plot. plt.show. 1.5% load. This command loads code from an external script file into a cell. Python. Assume you have a Python file named script.py with some code. Example of %load. %load script.py. 2 cell magics. 2.1% time. This command times the execution of an entire cell. Python. Example of %time. %time. Total equals 0. For I in range, 10.6. Total plus equals I. 2.2% write file. This command writes the contents of the cell to a file. Python. Example of %write file. %write file hello.py. Print, hello, world. 2.3% bash. This command allows you to run bash commands inside a cell. Python. Example of %bash. %bash. Echo current directory. pwd. Echo list of files. lsl. 2.4% HTML. This command allows you to write HTML code directly into a cell. Python. Example of %HTML. %HTML. h1 hello world, /h1. P. This is a paragraph in HTML/p. 2.5% Python. This command allows you to run a Python script in a separate Python interpreter. Python. Example of %Python. %Python. import sys, print, f Python version, sys.version. 3 additional useful commands. 3.1% history. This command displays the command history of the current session. Python. Example of %history. %history n1 to 5 shows the first 5 lines of command history. 3.2% reset. This command resets the interactive namespace by removing all variables. Python. Example of %reset. This will prompt for confirmation before resetting the namespace. %reset. 3.3% pwd and %cd. These commands are used to print the current working directory and change directories, respectively. Python. Example of %pwd and %cd. %pwd print the current working directory. %cd. Change to the parent directory. Conclusion. Jupyter Notebook Magic commands enhance productivity and interactivity while working in notebooks. They allow for efficient data processing, debugging, and visualization. Remember that these commands are specific to Jupyter and won't work in standard Python scripts. Feel free to explore these commands in your Jupyter notebook, and happy coding!